Hi everyone, this is a bit of a follow-up video from the video I made yesterday in relation to Pizza Pedo Gate, documentary series presented and produced by Titus Frost, who's done an excellent job of compiling all the information we have today in relation to the evidence surrounding Pizza/Pedogate, and he includes a lot of videos and presentations from all other people who have been involved in this, in questioning, looking at evidence, researching, and big thanks to all those people and to Titus Frost as well, everybody that's got involved with this, and is asking questions. And it is very, very disturbing, that we live in a world where if you poor, or you don't even have to be poor, if you're black basically and a youth, you're very likely to be stopped and searched by police. You are suspicious just because you're black and a youth, or just because you're white and a youth and on a council estate. Okay, you are a suspicious person just because you're poor. There's suspicion there related to you. But our lawful suspicions related to things that have been uncovered around paedophiles with access, also working in top government positions, top senior police positions, working as child psychologists, running, being head of educational child psychologists, child abusers, okay, who are so prominent in society. They don't just become head of child psychology, when they retire from that, then suddenly they're a doctor of child psychology, and they're heading all the local community campaigns to support the NHS, and this is the kind of thing that is going on, okay. And I've picked up on this one thing, Corp, from Titus Frost, that has alerted me, because I didn't even know about this. And this is the kind of thing that they get up to, some of their staff, having a 15-year-old Afghani boy doing mock lap dances for them and videoing it, putting dollar bills in the boy's waistband just as they would a stripper's garter. And so, the Washington Post gets the story. Does he publish it to alert the public, ask questions? Who's Corp? What's this? What's this going on here? No, they all get together. Legal team, political lawyers, ministers, the media, colluding to damage control, engage in damage control to hush parts of that upcoming article. They're colluding. That means they're complicit. And we find that not only one DynCorp employee was fired, apparently. Really? How do we know that for sure? There was no mention of the dollars or lap dances in the final published article. And the US government has taken no subsequent disciplinary or legal actions against DynCorp or its employees. Now, in the next breath, Titus Frost shows us this is from 2000. Again, DynCorp, buying and selling women and young girls for sex. In where? Afghanistan. Okay, that was in 2000. In 2009, we're finding out, they're also having boys, young lads doing lap dances. That was just one incident. Okay, and this is the personnel front of DynCorp. Look, they are military. Anybody seeing those American soldiers? Look, while working under contract for the United States, why does the United States need to contract a corporation like DynCorp when it's got its own military and its own personal training? Why is this here? Why is there DynCorp? What can I say? So that means so these paedophiles, an organisation like DynCorp is going to attract a certain kind of psychology, you know, as every thing does with power. All power arenas will attract people who want to abuse and hurt children. They specifically target certain professions so they can have absolute protection and operate with impunity. That means without fear of arrest. So they can just enjoy their fun, knowing full well that nothing is ever going to happen to them. Like Jeffrey Epstein, he got away with his crimes for so long because he had the goods, didn't he, on so many senior political figures. And, you know, I did then check out Corp, you know, and this is the kind of thing, you know, this is the kind of equipment, this is what they do, you know. Look, this is all Corp, okay? Training grounds, they're training grounds. Because as it explains in that email, you know, that their training facility, in Iraq, okay? It shows it here, you know, on the training site, not in Iraq, sorry, in Afghanistan. Though they've probably got a training site in Afghanistan, sorry, in Iraq as well. But we can cover all that up. And, you know, like the people who were complaining about Pizzagate are being told, and even Hampstead, you know, apparently the public are evil and foolish for asking questions. This is what a High Court judge said. The public are evil and foolish for asking questions about, well, arrest criteria was fully satisfied. Why was nobody arrested in relation to crimes against multiple children and even baby trafficking and murder and eating of trafficked babies? You had the 2 child witness testimonies, detailed testimonies giving details of some of their abusers, named and known abusers who live locally, their detailed descriptions of their genitals, but not one person was arrested, taken off mum. 6 days later, both children, age 8 and 9, both 6 days later, both of them suddenly decide to retract. Now the IPCC, since the High Court judgment, that's the Independent Police Commission, Complaints Commission, supposed to be independent, they've upheld the mother's complaint that yes, arrest criteria was fully satisfied, there should have been arrest. Yes, the retractions are only partial and they do appear to be led by the IO, the interviewing officer, which they do, okay? But according to the IPCC, the crimes probably weren't true, and therefore there's just a bit of an internal investigation, inquiry needs to happen, and there might be a few slapped wrists at the end of it. And so there you've got a police force that successfully used negligence as a means of covering up a serious, evil crime ring. Okay? A paedophile gang employed in every authority in London. And every authority in London has got together to cover it up. Just like this example here. A story's about to come out. How can we damage control? They engaged in damage control to hush parts up of that upcoming article. You know, there was no mention of lap dances or dollars in the boys' waistband. The US government has taken no subsequent disciplinary or legal actions against DynCorp or its employees. These people are acting on behalf of the American public because the government has contracted them. And, you know, I expressed my concerns yesterday about the fact Britain's left the EU and somehow this country has voted for a government that's promised to scrap our human rights. Now, is that a promise? Do you go to humanity and promise them that you're going to scrap their human rights? No. Who is that promise to? It's to the corporation, the leading global government. DynCorp International is a leading global government solutions provider. So our country is going to be gradually you know, eroded the army, everything. It's going to be you corporate military, isn't it? Who aren't really allied to anybody except, you know, US and allied stability objectives. And we know for a fact they're all very firmly allied with the corporate interests and the banks. And all right, if their boys, some of their boys get up to a few crimes against children, then we're not, you know, we don't care. And what are these people doing? You know, as it says in that email here, you know, a training site in Afghanistan. So they're supposed to be there, they're providing logistics, okay, and stability. So what is the training site about? We're not supposed to ask any questions about it. We're just supposed... This is stealth. It's a stealth. It's a threat. Okay? And I'm not happy about this. I'm really disgusted. And now we find Corp International targets UK expansion. This is in March 2014. Look. Major expansion in United Kingdom. Why? Why are they expanding inside the United Kingdom? Based in London, Corp International UK has been established as a new company pursuing opportunities in Europe and Africa. DI had 19,000 people maintaining vehicles used by coalition forces, organising road and air movement of equipment, providing facilities on military bases and training and mentoring Afghan military and government personnel. What? So we've got a global corporation training and mentoring a military global corporation. They are military. Training and mentoring Afghan military and government personnel. And we know that this organisation employs paedophiles. And when those paedophiles are exposed, then the corporation just covers it. It all gets covered up by the government. But, you know, a person on the street, a youth, police are on him, searching him. What's he got in his pockets? Oh, we found a bit of herbs, the natural plants that's harmless, actually. We found some natural plant. Oh, let's go and search his home now, you know. Go and upset mum and dad, turn all the house upside down, arrest him, charge him. Okay, and that's just on what? Seeing somebody walking down the street, a youth, black. If you black, you're even more likely, you know. Many times more likely a black youth living, especially an impoverished, if they look impoverished black youth, they're going to be stopped and searched. Okay, that's the level of suspicion. We're living against us, but meanwhile we're supposed to ignore, you know, actual facts, FBI identified evidence. We're supposed to just ignore it. We're supposed to ignore the fact that we've got our media and government. It's all shown here, and this is just an example. There's lots of people like Hillary Clinton and lawyers like Cheryl Mills and medias like Washington Post who are working together to cover up these things. Why? Why are they doing it? Why? They must like this. They know what kind of mentality it takes to do certain jobs. They know that they need psychopathic people, sadists, power over people in foreign countries. It's going to attract your sadistic psychology. You know, that is a fact. Is there anything in place to make sure that they're not attracting that kind of psychology? Is there any tests they're doing to ensure that the people that are joining? No, because these people, you know, this corporation has been promised that human rights are going to be scrapped in Britain. Right? That's who the promise is to, the global corporations. And like I say, now Britain's out of the EU, government scraps our human rights, replaces it with a Bill of Rights, no money, no rights, people get angry. Even our own military won't be able to protect us because DynCorp's already here to help the government achieve its stability objectives. And, you know, I am annoyed because there's a lot of people, you know, like I said in my other video, you know, and even Brian Gerrish warning people about the dangers of EU stealth power and their army and common purpose, okay? Well, common purpose is like, what, a gnat compared to this. You know, distract. And I am suspicious now. I'm suspicious of a lot of news medias, alternative news medias, about this, the fact that this has been ignored and nobody's talking about it, about a global, you know, a corporate military provision operating by stealth, operating in countries for corporate governments. And, you know, I've explained the risk. Oh, they're seeking opportunities in Europe now, opportunities in Europe and Africa. What, are they waiting for countries to break away from the EU and then that country will scrap the human rights and the people get the experience civil unrest? In comes DynCorp International. This is serious. And there is a time when you need to stand up because you need to go through some trouble now to protect the children. You need to get out of your comfy, cosy, la land worlds that this society provides and start looking at your children's future and asking yourself, why have you brought that child into this world? Have you brought that child into this world to be abused, to be burdened with an unrepayable debt that's been accumulated by squanderers, criminals, child traffickers and murderers? I'm very, 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 very disturbed, very, very annoyed, angry with so many people because you just blindly, you know, this is their training facilities. Blindly following this, and you're looking at a stealth takeover. It's being done by stealth. They've moved a corporate army into Britain. Expansion into Britain. Now they want, from Britain, they want to expand into Africa and Europe. Well, they're already in parts of Africa, aren't they? Because we know they're in the Middle East. And basically, they're yes men, give us enough money, we will do whatever you want to do. No, they do. They are not affiliated to human rights, are they? Who we serve. Those who defend global security and defend freedom. Freedom for who? Not freedom for people, no. Freedom for the corporations and their evil banks. Freedom for them to impose a debt on us. Freedom for them to remove our human rights. Freedom for them to ignore and cover up serious crimes against children. Peace and stability, what? At the point of a gun? I don't know, and as I've said in my other video, I'm not saying everybody who works for DynCorp is an evil person. People have to do jobs in this world. But what I am saying to the people of DynCorp, root out the criminals within and ask questions about your organisation and what you're really supporting. Will you be standing up against British people who are standing against removal of their human rights? Who will you be serving? Which side will you be on? Will you be on the British public side who's demanding human rights and child protection directives? Or will you be on the side of the corporate government who wants to remove our human rights and does not want to establish child protection directives because then all its evil paedophiles would be arrested? We're supposed to be living in a democracy, and any security firm You know, we've already got G4S running children's home, a global security firm owned by Mossad, running children's homes, killing children. They've killed children in children's homes in Britain. They've got an appalling record, and still they're being given public money. Public money. And these will be getting public money contracted by Britain. What, to go into Africa? No, this is wrong. This is not what my grandfather gave his life for, okay? For Britain to be harbouring, to be supporting this global military who have got really no allegiance to anything except money. And now we find out that, you know, there's evidence to suggest that these have been the beneficiaries of some of the $2 trillion that went missing from the Pentagon budget. And you look at 9/11, and again, absolute evidence. What was it? So an organisation like Corp got employed to put those explosives in to pre-wire those buildings. Those buildings were pre-wired. They were pre-wired. Go away with your stupid conspiracy theory about bloody Muslim terrorists bringing buildings down with planes and even office fires. Go away. And the whole media, and these people are educated. They're educated people. And they're telling us that we can ignore the laws of physics this is a new world order that will even deny the laws of physics. That's how lawless they are. They will deny the laws of physics in order to promote their freedom to establish these, freedom to steal $2 trillion from the Pentagon budget, and then to do what? Just to kill people, just to kill children, just to keep committing their crimes. And they are committing a crime against humanity. And I'm speaking to you today as somebody who's been through a lifetime of it. And I can't cope anymore. I've got no life. I am so unhappy in this world. The only reason why I'm here is because people need me. It's just, I've had enough. Just help.